Hello, welcome to next playthrough of Crusaders. Thy Will Be Done by TMG Games. So it is a multiplayer game, not a solo game. So I will be getting some help to do a playthrough of this. If you just want to jump to the playthrough, go to video 2. Otherwise, watch this for a component overview and setup. So first things first, when you're opening your game, I have the blinged out version, so I get these plastic pieces. Then there's also wooden pieces, and it's your preference. Some people might find that wooden castle, for example, is easier to see than this plastic one. And it's just personal preference. I set my player board up for the plastic pieces, and I can clearly tell that through the camera lens here that it's actually really hard to differentiate the different buildings with the plastic pieces. So it may actually be better for camera's sake to have the wooden ones, but I already set it up, so we're gonna roll with it. A blank player board is gonna look like this. So you're gonna see there's spots for all of your pieces, and then you're gonna have this big white zone to the left. So every player is going to get these. So let me just grab a player that I haven't set up yet. So you're gonna have these, which are called your action tiles. That's considered an upgraded action tile because you see there's 2 actions on them. And then that's a starting tile where there's 1 action, and then this is just a sneak preview of what's on the other side if you were to flip it, okay? And so you'll see that I randomize them and just put them on in the random order that I picked them, and every other player has to match mine. Now there is a variant where every player can just have their own random order, but the game rules warned that it could be imbalanced. And then the game rules also give you a fixed position if you want to have a consistent game or your first game. So I did the standard rules, which was just randomize them. And then you take 2 of these and you put them on each one. And those are like your action points. So if I were to do this travel action, I would have 2 points towards my travel action. Okay. The next thing you get is you get these troops, which if you flip them over, have these Roman numerals on them, and you can see here that I have them on my player board. They go along the top. I'm sorry, I picked purple and my game board's purple, so they blend in really well, but you can see this is the first level troop, and they slide into the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. The castles go on the top where there's the castles, the churches, farms, and then these are the banks. In a nutshell, the castles are going to help you unlock more knights for moving on the board. They're going to help you with travel and victory points for enemies killed. The churches are going to help you to just flat out get victory points. The farms are going to help you with your getting troops on the board, because you have to feed your troops. And the banks are going to help you to build the other buildings. So having a bank helps make the other buildings cheaper. You also get one of these, which is just a sort of a summary at the end of the game of how you score. Some of it's pretty cryptic, but I think if I sat down and looked at it, I'd figure it out. You pick 2 of these for each player. They are the order that you're going to be. So for example, I could be the Teutonic Knights or the Order of, I think that's Alcantara. So I get to pick 1, and it would go up here in that spot, and then I would get whatever bonuses they say. I haven't picked yet, but I just have it ready to go. Okay, next thing you got to do is you're going to get these discs. There's going to be gray discs, gold discs, and brown. You're going to put stickers on them. They don't come already on, so you're going to have to put them on yourself. So, and then the brown ones are going to have a picture imprinted on them, and then the other side you put the sticker on. So you go through your map. You do have to decide, right up there you can see that's for 2 players. You're either going to do a 2-player game, which is this board, or there's a 3- and 4-player board, which you have to flip the board over. It's a double-sided board. And then you see there where it says 140. That's the number of victory points that need to be earned before the game ends. So you take these, which are your victory points, and you have to count 140 points worth of victory points, and you set them in a pile, and the players will draw from there. And once they're all gone, that triggers the end game. And there are more. So if a player needs to draw more than is actually here, you can take them from outside, but this is how you can track end game, okay? As far as setup goes, you're gonna have 2 bags. So I have this bag, which I put my building tiles in, and then I had another bag, this one, which I put my, my discs in. And so one disc, you put a gold disc there on the 3, a gray disc there on the 3, and then you take your map, and everywhere you see this flag, you put a disc. You just randomly draw them from a bag. So this was all random, what you see. And the only requirement is that the Saracens, which are these brown ones, have to have the imprinted symbol side up. That's important because when you conquer them, this imprinted symbol is going to do something for you. There is a stickered side, but that side stays down. As for the Prussians, which are gray, and the Slavics, which are gold, it doesn't matter. You can have it either side up. That has no game impact. It's just aesthetics. The building tile things I was talking about are these. And so you just put them anywhere you see these, and you use every one in the game. And then, like, for example, this one says that if you build a church or a castle in this space, you're going to get an extra victory point. That's what that little diamond looking thing is. And then this one up here says that if you build a church or a farm in this space, it's going to cost 1 less to build. That's what that's saying. And what's funny is this here says that if you conquer this Saracen, you get a free bank in that space, which is neither of those. So it is interesting. Sometimes they sort of conflict with each other, but that's what those basically do. You're going to have 1 extra knight, and that knight, of course, is once you determine player order and reverse player order, they get to pick. There's 2 knights on the board because this is the 2-player map, and you pick either one to start in. And as you can see, some of the building tile are imprinted on the board, so those are going to be the same every game. So once you do that, you have everything you need to start your first game. So, one last thing. There are the end game. You obviously take victory points as you play, and there's ways you score victory points. But here you can see the Saracens has, there's some tiles that whoever defeated the most Saracens gets 5, and whoever defeated the second most will get 2. Now, if there's a tie, you flip them over, and they actually have different scores. So here, if there was a tie for first place for the Saracens, everybody gets 3, and then there's no second place awarded. So there's one of these for the Prussians, and there's another set for the Slavs. So we're going to get the second player here to the table, and we're going to show you how to play. So thanks for watching. That might be my quickest introductory video ever. And once he gets here, I'll explain the rules real quick, and we'll get started. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.